Hello folks, Typhoon Carter here, and I bring to you DPP Revival Ubers Open. This is a round 3 losers bracket matchup between Dry Defender and Sossa, going by branch out. Dry Defender, vaguely familiar with him, and Sossa, this is a guy that we've covered several times in both Revival channels. Dry Defender, I remember he's like actually a respectable Ubers player himself, not a bad player, but needless to say, both players are fighting for their tournament lives fairly early on into the tour, but that being said though, let's jump right into this. So, we got Fori lead, Deoxys speed lead. Usually this lead matchup, Fori is probably just going to try and spin on the Deoxys, try to break up Sash, but if you're Deoxys speed, you can obviously taunt, you could spike, but the other option for Fori is trying to go for a T-spike, catch the Deoxys speed player not taunting, so we'll see what happens here. Yeah, Dry Defender taunts, can't T-spike, and oh, Fire Punch, not something you actually see a whole lot, but actually makes a lot of sense because you want a way to deal with Fori. It's one way to ensure layers stay up, and Dry Defender's gonna do exactly that, but that means you're probably dropping Stealth Rocks, because you usually want E-Speed, and oh, crit there might have mattered because some Deoxys are quite bulky, and Kyogre's gonna be a follow-up here, and Blissey's going to come in into a Calm Mind. It's gotta be careful of a sub perhaps, but gotta swap out into Bronzong tells us that it's probably not sub. Zong's going to get Rocks up perhaps, or double back, and this Fori is slowly gonna get beaten down, and gotta take the T-spikes here. Sossa anticipated the spin block, and the Fori's gonna get KO'd. That Kyogre's gonna be on a perma timer unless it's Lumberry. But Dialga's gonna be an immense problem for a Dry Defender. And Groudon's going to pivot out. And then we see the Bronzong gonna get a Toxic off on Groudon. So Dry Defender bringing what looks to be a Deoxys speed balance. Again, yeah, Deoxys speed doesn't immediately indicate offense, but could just indicate like a hazard stack balance like we're seeing here. Kyogre going to threaten a huge Hydro Pump, obviously. But gotta pivot back out into Bronzong, expecting the Dialga switch, or Blissey switch. That was probably the other thing he might have expected, but Giratina Altered is shown, so Sossa bringing, oh, this might be Eclipse, or rather Scarf Dialga variant of Eclipse, so the last here is gonna be Crest, and Scarf Dialga gives a lot of speed control to this team, which makes sense. And Will-Wisp into Giratina Origin, so if it's a mixed Gira Altered, then this Blissey is going to have a field day. And sometimes Eclipse, like some teams just sometimes can't break it at all, and that's kind of the nature of it. And Dialga's gonna be shown. Is this, we don't know what the Dialga set is. Lefties is shown, so it could be Bulk Up. This could also be, you know, like Bulk Up Rest Talk. No, it's Roar, so it's probably just the defensive Dialga, which makes sense on Dry Defender's team because you kind of need something that can trade in the Laddie Twins comfortably. There's the Crest. So yeah, Sossa bringing out Scarf Dialga variant of Eclipse, and Kyogre is going to come in on his T-Wave. Is this Rest? We don't know. Dialga is kind of on a timer here. I really don't know about this from Sossa. And that Scarf Dialga is going to go down. I think he could have at least kept it for, you know, a late game scenario, but again, I can't say for sure. Because Dialga is going to be, could be mildly annoying if it's Rest Talk, but if it's not, which doesn't look to be the case, then the Blissey is just kind of going to do its thing, and it's just going to kind of win by existing. Oh, protects here. Roar Deep. Okay, I mean, you could, in theory, PP stall the Blissey. That is something that is a viable path, and it is going to threaten a Dragon Pulse. If you get a couple Roars turns correct, then you could be in for business. But Groudon's going to re-enter the game here, go threaten a Lava Plume, and Bronzong's probably going to, oh, okay, yeah, just gonna come right in on this, but Bronzong can spam Toxic here because, yeah, you see just how bulky Bronzong is, especially even against something like Sun Boosted Lava Plume on support Groudon, and that Bronzong's going to go down. at the very least. And Mewtwo is the last here. And question is, what kind of Mewtwo is this? Because actually no, I think Mewtwo could actually win here. And ironically, this is one of the few times where you see T-Spikes actually work, that could work against Sossa here, or rather against Sunstall as a whole, but it's too early to tell. Oh, nice taunt there, and going to be able to recover safely if he has it. Ice Beam or Spear taunt. I mean, what else could it be? Okay, yeah, it's just gonna go down. So it definitely didn't have explosion. The last was probably just a third coverage move, if I had to fathom a guess. And Kyogre is going to do a significant amount here. And oh, that might have been a mistake on Sossa's end. Did he need to switch Blissey in like that? I'm not sure, because here's my thing. If you're Sossa, yeah, no, I think Sossa might have borderline thrown this game. And here's why. Is again, Dry Defenders go win this game 1, but so for one, we don't even know if the Kyogre has rest. If it has rest, then okay, maybe it doesn't matter as much, right? If it's like rest talk, but I don't think it is. It could be, it might not be, right? And then from the perspective of Sossa, it's like, what's the crust doing for you for the rest of the game? Yeah, sure, you could do a lot to Giratina Origin, but the problem here is that Giratina Origin is already burnt, so it doesn't really matter what you do, right? And then let's do the math here, right? If Giratina Origin comes in, it's gonna be at like 50%, right? And then it's losing 12% each turn, right? How many turns is that gonna be, right? Like it's got like what, four-ish turns of longevity left at most, right? You could just let the crest go, okay, and then you can let the Bliss come in safely. And here's the thing, yeah, Dialga could protect all at once. Last mod Blissey could actually win you the game, so I don't know why. I feel like Sossa kind of missed the path there, so that feels a little bit mildly frustrating to see. But anyways, I can't dwell on it forever. I feel like I've been going on for like a minute or two. Whatever, right? We'll go into game 2. Motherfucker. Oh, okay. Here we are with game 2. Let's jump right into this. Deoxys Speed. So we got a mirror match here. Anything could happen. Scissor's gonna be the follow-up here. Gonna get spikes up. And Giratina Origin going to come in on the U-turn, but sees a Bug Bite instead. And Dry Defender is going to let the Deoxys Speed go. Okay, sure, why not? Was probably scouting HP Fire. I don't know about that. Like, they really need to do that? I mean, I don't think so, right? Like, he could, but I get why he was maybe swapping out of Scizor. I get that, I just don't know if I agree with that. But anyways, doesn't tell us a whole lot team-wise. Palkia, so Sossa probably has a Kyogre. Nope, Lub is shown, okay. Could be sub, for all I know. And Dialga's gonna be the answer here, and going to eat a Thunder. And then Focus Punches here. Okay, nice play there. Getting it in on the Stealth Rock. And going to Spatial Rend. So Mewtwo's gonna be a follow-up here. Could threaten a... Oh, okay, gotta show T-Wave. Interesting. And just go let the Mewtwo go. Yeah, this Palkia's putting in overtime. And Dry Defender, yeah, I think he was just, oh, go missed the spatial right there, trying to play for some hacks, and is going to get that at the very least. A Giratina Altered, gonna show Substitute here. If you're Sossa, yeah, you just taunt here. If you're Dry Defender, I think you just need it to... Oh man, yeah, you really see how a bulky Giratina Altered is, but it can take a cycle boost from that like it's nothing. But the important thing is that he broke up the sub, and at the very least, you could put some pressure of like Outrage on Giratina Origin. But Dry Defender is going to read this with Scizor, going to see this coming. Except the only problem here is that You still, oh, huge crit there. Unfortunate though, although I think he should have roosted regardless. And he say that, Dry Defender say that he actually lost the pressure speed tie turn 1. And Bug Bites here into the Bronzong, and the reason he did that was because he didn't want to risk an explosion. But this Kyogre's gonna do a significant amount, and it's gonna come down to, he's gonna send his own Kyogre, probably trying to hope that it's not Thunder, but he's gonna meet a T-Wave to face instead. And we're gonna see a Calm Mind Ward here from the looks of it. Oh. I think Sossa should be favorite in this Calm Mind Ward, like just because when you factor in paralysis and whatnot. And then if he gets a, oh, another full pair, yeah. So that means Sossa should be favored here. But oh, okay, finally gets a T-Wave off. So both players, oh right, yeah. Both players have T-Wave, and Dry Defender just kind of getting the short end of the stick here. Gets full parrot here, and oh no. I think it showed that Sossa's is Kyogre's, but oh okay, no, it's a speed tie. And Dry Defender just hanging on for dear life. Hydro Pump misses there, and I mean, can he get? Can he? He's gonna have to dodge one more, and Sossa might just get the job done here. No, gets full parrot. Okay, Surf's not doing a whole lot here, and you see the power difference here between Hydro Pump and Surf. And Ice Beams here, Ogre's gonna go down. The question is, can Giratina Altered kind of get some full para hacks here? Okay, gets one. He could hypothetically, you know, if he gets enough Combine boost, he could hypothetically, you know, fish for RNG on the sub and then try to win that way. Nope. Okay, so Sossa's going to tie this series up 1-1. And interesting, kind of a rough game there. Things got, yeah, that Palkia just went into overtime, especially the Focus Punch. I think Dry Defender just kind of got caught off guard there. That was a pretty good play from Sossa, redeeming himself after that kind of confusing endgame of Game 1. But regardless though, we got a series that we gotta see play out to fruition here, and let's go into Game 3. Here we are. Kyogre into a Tentacruel lead. Kyogre, if it has Thunder, should probably just click that. Oh, okay, yeah, that's a bulky Tentacruel. So yeah, Tentacruel tends to live that if it's not Specs. So that tells us a lot of information. And Dialga going to enter into a game. Sossa's is Kyogre's going to be threatened out by Bronzong. I think both players will probably trade Stealth Rocks here, perhaps. No, Dry Defender will probably spin here, perhaps, or not. Instead, gonna let this go. I think spin was probably worth an attempt there, but maybe Dry Defender's just okay with playing with Rocks up. Again, if you have Rocks up, it's not the end of the world. So both players got Rocks up, and this awkward Bronzong mirror is kind of a game of chicken, because if you are, you know, if you're, both players don't really want to switch out because they fear, you know, Bronzong potentially threatening a Toxic, but either that or both players don't have a super great way to break through the other, and Kyogre is going to re-enter the game here, going to threaten a huge Hydro Pump into Bronzong. So looks like Sossa beat it down enough to put it in the Hydro Pump range, but instead going to mid-ground Thunder Wave there. So nice mid-ground from Sossa there, and oh, huge Ice Beam crit there, because that's gonna put Dialga under a lot of duress, but gonna get some hacks back. And that Dialga, no full para, so Kyogre's going to go down. But Bronzong, or opposing Dialga, is going to threaten a KO here. And Earth Power's here, so doesn't want to risk a miss. And it's Life Orb Dialga. So I'm going to pause a little bit here. I haven't already done the whole series. But Dialga, offensive Dialga here, if it's Earth Power, it's usually carrying Aura Sphere, Dragon Move. And then the last move can either be Thunder or fire move, but if it's fire move, that probably means that Sossa has like a Groudon in the back, perhaps like a dual weather team, or rather dual weather setters in that sense. But if you're Dry Defender, you should be feeling okay here, but Thunder is still gonna do a lot, and Dialga sometimes gets forgotten for how potent of a wall breaker it can be, and we're seeing Dialga's versatility on display here, and you gotta only take 40% from EQ, and go for a KO with Thunder. Dry Defender is going to try and chip heal back, gets the double protect there, so I think now it's a roll on whether this is a KO or not, but not gonna get it. Gonna get the was banking on the low roll from the looks of it, but Mewtwo is going to threaten the KO here. Our Sphere's here. The question is, how is Sossa going to deal with this? Bronzong is the follow-up here. Obviously can threaten an explosion, could threaten, you know, payback on Mewtwo, but I don't think payback's gonna do enough. Might have to, if this Mewtwo has like, you know, Wisp or something, which it could, but I don't find it as likely, that this Bronzong could be neutered, and this Mewtwo could be an immense threat to Sossa's team. Gotta show sub here, and gotta block the explosion, so sub works too. Not something you see super often, but now has to be careful of the Garchomp. And this Garchomp's going to do a significant amount to Mewtwo, and Dry Defender's gonna remain slightly ahead, but he's been significantly crippled. If I'm Dry Defender here, yeah, gotta get a sub up, try to get a little bit more chip damage. If he has a Scarf Dragon or like a Scarfer that can KO, or something that can KO Palkia outright, then this is a good chance to kind of force a lot of chip here. Looks like Scarf Ogre is the follow-up here, and and this Palkia will go down at the very least, and it's gonna come down to Sossa's last. Sossa's last is Mewtwo, and it's on a permanent timer, but it's offensive Mewtwo from the looks of it. And Giratina Origin is going to be the last here. Yeah, I know this game could end at any point, but something worth noting here is that Mewtwo will usually not KO Giratina Origin from this range, because Ice Beam will do a lot, but it's not going to outright KO it. If Dry Defender has some bulk investment, I think Giratina Origin can threaten a 2-hit KO here, but he could also, like for example, Draco the Mewtwo and then try to Shadow Sneak as a follow-up, especially with Toxic Spike's chip. So that Toxic Spike that Dry Defender set early on in the game coming in really handy here. And Dragon Pulse is here. Question is, will Shadow Sneak do the job? And Mewtwo kind of hanging on for dear life here, and Dragon Pulses again. I think Sossa's forced to recover here, and he has to hope he doesn't get crit at any point. So that's something I think he's got to be really weary of, and I think he knows that it's not going to do quite enough. So this might be max HP, max speed Mewtwo, based on the way that he's been playing this. And Dragon Pulses again, I mean, again, pressure kicking in. He's only got 3 of these left, and now he's going for broke here. A Shadow Sneak crit could actually do it. Is he gonna get one? I mean, yeah, Sossa's kind of hanging on for dear life, and I mean, again, the Shadow Sneaks were, not comfortable, because one, like if you're forced to keep recovering like this, you're just gonna run out at some point, or you're gonna get crit. How many has he got left? He's only got 7 left here, so anything could happen here, especially with the T-Spikes chip just coming in real handy here. And nice Dragon Pulse there, putting it right back into crit KO range. 39%. How many has he got left? He's got 4 left. 42. I mean, again, he's gonna be put down into around, like, you know, 25-ish, 30%, and recovers again. Anything could happen in this end game. You got attacked sooner or later. No, does not get the KO. And Dry Defender is going to move on, and he will survive this series, and he's going to win this 2-1. talk about nerve-wracking there if you're Dry Defender, like hanging on for dear life. Yeah, Sosa only had 2 recovers left. And yeah, no, that's why Sosa was trying to like, you know, recover constantly, because I think he knew that Ice Beam was likely not gonna kill the Giratina Origin, like based on bulk. And that was an endgame that was, I think that was like for the most part in Dry Defender's favor, because of the fact that one, like the T-spikes constantly, like the T-spikes from that Tecro set at the beginning of the game, like just became a huge headache for Sosa, because of the fact that one, it's like you're constantly losing 6% health every turn, and you see the power of a passive damage coming in, because it kind of forces you into that state where you can't really safely get another Calm Mind off when you have to risk constantly being in range of KO. And I think for Dry Defender, I think having Dragon Pulse instead of Draco Meteor worked out for him, because if it was Draco Meteor, what Sosa can do was he could try to, you know, pressure stall, take advantage of the Spadef drop from a Draco Meteor. Okay, you know, maybe Dry Defender did have it. Maybe it was like Shadow Sneak, Dragon Pulse, Draco Meteor, Thunder, for example. That's something he could have had. Could be like, there's a ton of variation to what Giratina Origin could have, and I think that end game was nicely done from Dry Defender, like kind of holding on to keeping the Giratina Origin around late, because I think it's extremely tempting sometimes to, like, you know, bring it in. But to be fair, looking at this game as a whole, is like Giratina Origin, to be fair, didn't really have a lot of chances to come in on anything. Like offensive Dialga couldn't come in on that. Scarf Chomp couldn't come in on that. The Mewtwo got immense mileage, by the way, blocking an explosion, KOing the Garchomp, dealing significant damage to the Palkia, at least where Kyogre could, you know, KO it. So yeah, it was good pathing from Dry Defender. I like what I saw here. And for Sosa, I think it was just a bit unfortunate in that regard. But I wonder if he should have brought in Palkia sooner. I mean, I get why he didn't want to bring it in sooner, because of, you know, T-Spike's chip and whatnot. But I think Palkia was honestly really threatening to Dry Defender's entire team. I think he just waited a little too long. Bronzong was kind of a prime target. I get you want to keep it around for Kyogre, but like the reality is, like, if you look at this, it's like Mewtwo doesn't exactly want to come in on Palkia, right? Although I guess like Sub made things a little bit more complicated in that regard. And then I don't know if Sosa needed to engage in the Bronzong mirror like that. I mean, I get why he did, but yeah, I mean, you know, just things to think about. And that said though, if you guys enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, and consider donating to DPP Revival Ubers' prize pool. And I will see you guys next time.